1, 2, 3. Hey, so welcome to RealityCheck, little web series thing that I'm going to do for a few weeks just to talk about the record that I'll be putting out this September of 2012. And that record will be called More Fairytales, and each one of these sort of webisodes will feature a specific song. I'll play a little bit of the song and tell you a little bit about that song and a little bit about the record and kind of how, I guess, it came to be. So this week we're going to talk about a song and listen to a little bit of a song called I Do. And why did I choose this song to talk about first? Well, it's a good question. Glad you asked that. We're talking about that song first because really it is the song that completely kind of crystallized what it was I wanted to do with this record, how I wanted to record this record, what I wanted it to sound like, kind of everything. And before we talk about that, I just want to kind of go back. We're recording this thing in my little basement studio. There's not much to see here, and like I said, well, there it is, but you know, my camera is literally stuck up on this microphone stand, so I can't give you a tour or anything. But I started a few years ago, 2009. I put out this record, Shiny New Album, and this record was really the first record, and it's a real record. I'm holding a physical record. I gotta have the artifact, the tangible thing. I also like to read real books and not e-books, but that's a different conversation. But anyway, so I made this record, and most of it was made right here in the studio. And it started off how I started off all my things, as a demo. And then I kind of realized, like a lot of musicians do lately, hey, these are not demos. These songs, these recordings are my record. And so then began the process of kind of figuring out what I could get done here and what I needed to go to other studios for. So I put that out. Then the following year I put out this one, Private Little Revolutions. And there's some cool artwork on there. But anyway, this record was also done kind of the same way, where I did a lot of it right here in my little studio. When I started recording the songs that ended up being the No Fairy Tale songs, I actually started 2 years ago, the summer of 2010. And what was happening was I was recording songs, listening to demos, living with them, and I was just realizing that it wasn't working. And I would say probably about 6 or 7 months ago, I kind of figured out why. And it was because, not because of them, but if you can see this album cover here, this is the band, not a band, but the band. And I've been listening to these guys obsessively. By the way, this is a Time magazine cover from 1970. I don't hoard things, but I do like to keep very cool things. This is cool. So anyway, I've been listening to them rather obsessively for about 1.5 years, and the way the band would make their records is the same way tons of bands did, and it's kind of the way 9 Days did it also. Those guys would sit in a room together, all in the same room, and they would record the song, all them playing it. There was no overdubbing, or if there was, it was done very sparsely. The heart of that song was captured with those 5 guys in a room playing, and 9 Days used to do that. That's how we made all our records, but for me, as a quote-unquote solo artist, it was a little more difficult to do that. And I'd made those other 2 records largely here. Anyway, I started recording this record, and I realized I wanted to do it more organically. So it took me a little while to find the right combination of players, studios, engineers, and the right songs. But I finally kind of got the right thing together. And the first thing we recorded was this song, which I'll play for you a little bit of right now. The song's called I Do, and it was recorded bass, drums, there's a Rhodes electric piano on there, the acoustic and the vocal, all done live. So there's no click track, there's no fixes, things speed up, things slow down. Perhaps there's a sour note that I sing. It happens. But it didn't matter because the heart of the song was right. And that sort of gave me the focus and kind of helped me figure out how I wanted to make the rest of the record. So let's listen to a little bit of the song now, and you'll hopefully hear what I mean. 1, 2, 3. This little intro at the top was not originally part of the song. It just kind of came of us just jamming a little to find a groove.
You got a smile that makes my knees weak. You give me a naked feel down deep.
That little sound.
What we got ain't routine or habit. What you give will still got.
That's the roads run through an auto-wah. It's a funky pedal. Drums kicking in.
If you were, I'd reach up and grab you. The constellations.
Here comes the piano.
We don't always get what we want, but you give me everything I need.
Oh, by the way, here's the horn section.
I love what you done to me. I love how you're still such a mystery. I love how you still kiss so sweet. Love you, I do the way.
So that's kind of how the song starts. That's the first little clip you'll get kind of for this record. And that was not, I was just air drumming. I didn't really play drums on that recording. That was Jake Cohen on drums. That was Jeremy Dean on the electric piano, that Rhodes I was talking about, which we ran through this very old, decrepit auto-wah pedal that we dug up at the cutting room in New York City. And it was noisy and trashy, but we left it. That was Justin Goldner on the bass guitar. Justin also came in later, and he did overdub those pianos, or the piano. And the horn section, I actually don't have their names handy. A friend of mine recorded them down in Nashville, actually. My friend Paul Umbach set up the session at his studio down there, and we actually Skyped that, which I've been doing a lot of too. So yeah, we use technology to make the record. Who doesn't? You gotta always use some kind of technology to make a record. But we Skyped the horn section, which was a lot of fun. I love what the horns bring to this song and the chorus. And this to me is still my favorite song on the record. I just love it. I love how it came out and the vibe. And after I recorded this song, I scrapped everything and started over. And that's really, this became the heart of the record and the core of it. And kind of took off from there. So that's why I wanted to talk about that one first. So I'm going to leave you with a little bit more of I Do, and we'll check back in next week with another song and some more babbling by me. So hopefully this was at least semi-interesting and worth your time. And so check it out, and remember in September 2012, this year, right? Well, I guess it's not this year if you're watching this next year, but No Fairytales, my new record coming out. And here's a little bit more of I Do. I'll see you soon.
Walking down the street, I love you down to your little pretty feet, and I love what you still do to me. I love you, I do. Oh, you're the eye of a hurricane. You're the twister on an open plain. Oh, you're just the right mix of crazy and cool, calm, collected, lazy. Don't